What is up? Today we're going to be talking about new gun bills that are being introduced into the legislature in the Commonwealth of Virginia. But before we get into that, if you like what I do here, like, comment, and subscribe. I have a join button where you can help support my work, and I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump. Now, let's get into it. Hey all, my name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist concentrating on 2A issues. I keep the ATF and other agencies in check while reporting on the industry. I'm also a gun rights advocate, and I'm currently the state director for the state of Virginia for Gun Owners of America. Before we get into the new gun bills being introduced in the state of Virginia, we are sponsored by Tusk. Tusk is the only cryptocurrency focusing solely on the gun market. With new regulations coming down, it's going to be probably the only way we're going to be able to buy guns and gun parts on the internet. So check them out at tusk.network. All right, with that said, let's get into the Virginia gun bills. There is a slew of gun bills being introduced. Some good, some bad, mostly bad, actually. One bill that will not be introduced is an assault weapons ban, which is a good thing. Because of Labor Day last year and the Sanctuary County movements, there's been a lot of pushback against anti gun politicians. I think they thought that they bit off a little bit more than what they can chew, and they dialed it back. So, no assault weapons ban, but there is a lot of bad bills out there. And we're going to be talking about those today. Let's go ahead and start in the House of Delegates. HB 1757 is a gun free zone bill. It prevents people from carrying on Commonwealth property. I think this has a good chance of passing, which isn't a good thing, but it is what it is. We have to fight that one. HB 1757 will prevent you from carrying your firearm legally in a Commonwealth owned building. The next bill is HB 1992. This will add anyone guilty of assault and battery against a family member to the prohibited list. This will prevent people from buying firearms who have a conviction for anything, even a minor offense like you got in a fight with your brother. You're going to be banned from owning a firearm. I take a strong stance against this bill. The next bill is HB 2231. It's the Group Violence Intervention Board. A while ago, AMLAN did a FOIA request, or an open records request, actually, with the state of Virginia. And we found out that the state of Virginia gave $2.6 million to Giffords. This is what that is. This gives Giffords $2.6 million to make a violence preventative initiative. And a lot of the stuff in there is anti gun. It talks about banning certain guns and other things like that. This is a gateway to get more gun control into Virginia. The next bill is HB 2276. This is the ghost gun bill. What this bill does, it prevents people from owning, purchasing, or transferring any unfinished frame or unfinished lower receiver. It basically bans the making of homemade firearms, which is a tradition in the country. It goes into a lot of scare tactics about undetectable firearms and how they don't show up on x rays. And it looks like all these firearms have some type of stealth technology. They don't mention that the barrels are metal. Also, it doesn't mention if they're going to go to Home Depot and ban people from buying pipes that can be easily converted into shotguns or nails that can strike primers. This is a ridiculous bill full of scare tactics and scary languages to confuse the normal people who don't know any better. We have to urge our members to vote against this. I have a Ghost Gunner 3 and I produce my own firearms all the time, and none of those firearms have ever been used and a crime. In fact, I have a Glock frame somewhere around here. I can't find it, but it is around here. Just take my word for it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to some good bills. HB 1839 is a good bill. What this does, it gives any disabled veteran with a 50% or higher rating free hunting and fishing licenses for life. These guys sacrifice a lot, not only for me, but for you. I've never been in the military, but if you know me, you know my wife is currently active duty. So I have a strong sense of military pride because I am a member of a military family. There is a lot of sacrifices that these guys go through, and we have to support our veteran community because they risked and given up a lot for us. Some have even given the ultimate sacrifice. I have a lot of veteran friends, and I wholeheartedly support this bill. Okay, the next bill is HB 1773. This is a very good bill. This is a constitutional carry bill. I don't think it really will pass. If it does get to the governor's desk, he's going to veto it. But with most things, we have to push and push and push. So this is one of the bills that we have to push. What constitutional carry says is that if you are legally allowed to carry a firearm, you can carry concealed, and you do not need a permit to carry concealed. So this basically gets rid of the concealed handgun permit and lets anyone who's legally allowed to carry a firearm concealed. Another good bill is HB 1793. This bill exempts anyone with a concealed weapons permit. Another good bill is HB 1793. This one exempts anyone with a concealed carry permit from local gun restriction ordinances. We have seen these draconian ordinances be passed by local municipalities such as Fairfax and also other places down in the Tidewater region. If you have a concealed handgun permit, this will exempt you from those regulations. It is very good. We must, must push our representatives to vote to pass this bill. HB 1799 allows hunting on Sundays on public lands. Right now, you are not allowed to hunt on Sundays on public lands. The Democrats state that this is to give game wardens time off. But in reality, it's just a way to stop you from exercising your God given right to hunt. Most people will have to take a day off of work or only hunt on Saturdays. Most people only work Monday through Fridays. So this gives people more flexibility to access public lands to exercise their God given right to hunt. Now let's move over to the Senate. There is only one gun bill over in the Senate, but it is a bad bill. SB 1250 will require background checks for gun rentals at ranges, which is really stupid. So every time you rent a gun from a range, you have to go through a background check, just like anyone buying a gun. So you have to fill out a 4473. Every time you rent a different gun or swap out guns, you have to go through a 4473 again, which is ridiculous. The Democrats claim that this is to prevent suicides at ranges. So they point to a couple instances of suicides at ranges, but here's the thing: none of those people would have got caught on a background check. They would have passed that background check and they still would have committed suicide. So this bill is nothing but an anti-gun bill wrapped up in a public health issue, which is crazy. Let's concentrate on why people commit suicides and getting people the mental health that they need to prevent suicides. This bill will not do any of that. It's the Democrats exploiting a tragedy like they usually do. This is par for the course when it comes to people on the left. I am pretty hard on Democrats and the left for being anti gun. It's not because I'm right wing, it's just because that's where the anti gun people are. There's not that many anti-gun people on the right, but there are a few, and those people need to be held accountable as well. All right, with that said, that is your Virginia update. It's a special update. No show today because I'm doing this update for you. I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, for a new show. Maybe I'll do a show today. I don't know. I doubt it. I got a lot to do. But I'm giving you this video instead because we need to get this out there. And remember, with the shortened legislative session, they probably didn't introduce as many anti gun bills as they wanted to. Plus, it is an election year, so they're not going to introduce a lot of anti gun bills because they don't want to be voted out of office. So we have to keep them accountable, and we have to vote these anti gun politicians out of office. We have to vote a pro gun governor, a pro gun lieutenant governor, a pro gun attorney general, and then we have to get the anti-gunners out of the legislature and get pro-gun people in the legislature. All right, my name is John Crump. If you like what I do here, I have a Patreon, which is linked probably on one of the sides. I don't know. If you go there, you can see that. Also, you can visit my website, crumpy.com, which is linked right below me, crumpy.com. I'm also linking to a description to all these bills on my website, crumpy.com. You can go over there and check that out. Check out my writing on MLN. Join Gun Owners of America at gunowners.org. If you do /black-swan-media, you can get 20% off your membership and help defend your rights. All right, with that said, let's get out of here. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, stay in the fight, and I am out.